We have here, this is the Ashelei Ravrevai. This is Chelek Sheni, the second Chelek, the second portion of it. It's Ashelei Ravrevai, which is from this, which highlights, which is based around the portion of Harav Shapsei Harav Shapsi ben Harav Meir Harav Hagadol Rab Shapsi ben Rav Meir Katz. Katz means Kohen Tzedek. That's how. That's the Sipsei Kohen. And the Torah has Zahav. That's Rav Hagoin Rav David ben Harav Rav Shmuel Segel Zatzal Zechet Tzadik Levracha Hatari Zahav. This is Ashelei Ravrevai. Eshel means a tree. Ashelei Ravrevai of the great people. These are the mefarshim, the great mefarshim of the Shulchan Aruch by Rav Yosef Cairo. Zatzal, from Tzfat, and this is Chelek Rishon, B'Jit Tamar, 1852, and Hakdama Samachaber. This is the Hakdama, the introduction. And this is the Tochen, this is the index of all the different subjects that are covered. And this is very interesting. This is Roshei Tevos, Haboim B'Sefer Zeh. The Roshei Tevos means the abbreviations that come in the Sefer. So this, so let's say Gimel. This is Gimel. So Gimel Hey means Gid Hanoshe. That's so. If one wants to make the meat kosher, one has to take out the Gid Hanoshe. That's part of the thigh. So Gimel Hey Gid Hanoshe. And Vav Zayin Aleph. V'zeh Eino. So if you see Vav Zayin Aleph, V'zeh Eino. Beis Hey Gimel Baal Halachos Gedolos. And Samach, that means suffix veka. That's a double suffix, a double doubt. In other words, not only one doubt, but one has two doubts on the thing. Let's see what Chaf Mem Kesef Mishneh. Oh, Kain Mukach. So in other words, we can see that these are the Roshei Tevos, the abbreviations that we can find in this Sefer over here. The Roshei Tevos. So the various subjects. Shechita. It starts off with Shechita. Topics on who can shecht, who is kosher to shecht, who is able to shecht, means qualified to shecht. To mi heim hakesherim לשחוט. Vo yudal tzifim. Who are those that are qualified to slaughter an animal? Because it's a very exacting thing. One has to be done very precisely to be kosher. Very precisely. In a painless way. Hakol shochetin lechatchila, afilu nashim. Everyone is able to slaughter lechatchila. So lechatchila means even one can start out shechting. In other words, it's not only, if this person did the kosher, the ritual slaughter, that it is kosher, but this person can do it, can start out to do it. There's a difference between lechatchila and b'divyeved. B'divyeved means if it was done already, then okay, it's kosher. If it's the din is that it's kosher, it's kosher. But lechatchila means it's 100%. One can even start out doing it. Ago. So the Reb Moshe Islet says he did a lot of notes on it. He did the notes. In other words, he gave his own piskei halachos. Ago. Yesh omrim, there are some she'ein lihoniach nashim lishchot shekevar nohago shelo lishchot. There are some people that say yesh omrim. There are some people say she'ein lihoniach nashim lishchot, that one should not let women shecht an animal, a kosher animal. It has to be a kosher animal set forth in the Torah, which are the kosher animals. In other words, like a cow or a sheep. Those kind of animals. Lishchot shekevar nohago shelo lishchot, because it was already a minhag that they should not, that they do not shecht, they do not slaughter. V'chein haminhag she'ein hanashim shochetos, and this is the minhag. This is the general custom that women do not slaughter. So that's what Rav Moshe Isler says. And the Beis va'avodim v'chol adam afilu ein makirin oso shemuchzak lishchot va'avodim. Oh, okay. Hakol shochtin lechatchila. Everyone is able to slaughter the behema, the animal. Afilu nashim, even women. That's what the Yosef Cairo says. The Shulchan Aruch. And so that is, but then the Reb Moshe Isserles says that there's some people that say that women do not slaughter because it's been a minhag already for many years that women do not slaughter an animal to shecht it in the right way. And b'chein haminhag, and this is the minhag. This is the way it's done. This is the general custom that women do not, in general, slaughter. So let's see, Beis va'avadim v'chol adam afilu ein makirin oso. So this is that it's continuing from here. Va'avadim, and your servants can slaughter also v'chol adam, and everybody can afilu ein makirin oso, even if one does not recognize this person. Shemuchzak lishchot shelo yisalef v'gam ein yodein bo shehu mumche v'yodei Hilchos Shechita mutar litein lo lechatchila. So this is, and so even avadim, slaves or servants, v'chol adam afilu ein makirin oso, and every person, every man, even we do not recognize this person, shemuchzak lishchot, that he is held, that he has the chazakah, that he has the custom, in other words, that he has done it already, that he's experienced to do the shechita, shelo yisalaf, that in other words, that it shouldn't, the knife should not slip in his hand. In other words, even though he's not ein makirin oso shemachzik lishchot, we don't recognize this person that he is experienced to shecht. He is able to shecht. Shelo yisalaf, that it shouldn't slip, the knife. V'gam ein yodim bo shehu mumcha. We don't know that he's an expert. V'yodei Hilchos Shechita, then he knows the dinim, the halachos of shechita, of kosher slaughtering of the animal. We don't know about him that he knows these halachos, and we don't know that he's an expert. Mutar litein lo lechatchila. It is permitted to give to this person lechatchila. So lechatchila means not only if it was done, it's all right, But lechatchila means you can give it to him as like the first alternative, not the second alternative, the first alternative. Mutter litin lo, one can give him the assignment to shecht if he steps up and he says that he can do it. Lechatchila. So lishchot. Litin lo lechatchila lishchot to slaughter the animal. Mutter le'echol mishchitaso. One can eat from his shechting. Sharov haragilin lishchot heim bechezkas mumchin, because the majority of people that are very accustomed to slaughtering. It's not an easy thing, of course. Heim bechezkas mumchin, so they are bechezkas. They are assumed to be. Chazaka means it's like. It's assumed that one is. Chazaka means it's strengthened. It's assumed that somebody that's really that's stepping up says that he is a Shochet and he is ready to shecht, slaughter in the kosher slaughter of this behema. Becheskas mumchen. So it's assumed that he is an expert. Umuchzakin, and umuchzakin. And in other words, it's assumed that he is able to do it. B'amed dvarim amurim, when do we say this? Kishe'eno lefonenu, when he is not in front of us. Kishe'eno lefonenu, when he is not in front of us. Oz mutar le'echol mishchitaso. Then it is we are permitted to eat from his shchita. V'somchin al hachazaka. We can rely on this chazaka, this assumption. Aval imhu lefonenu, but if he is in front of him, if he is in front of us, tzarich levadko imhu mumche. So if let's say this person is in front of us, so then tzarich levadko. Then we have to. Bedika means we have to search out the matter to find out. That we have to give him a test. Imhu mumche, if he is mumche, if he is an expert, v'yodea hilchos shechita, and he knows the halachos of shechita. Avaleinu tzarich l'sha'alo imnis aleif. But we don't have to ask him imnis aleif. We'll have to find out what imnis aleif. So in other words, we have a caveat over here that if it was already done, then we can assume that he did the right shechita. That's b'she'enu lefonenu. And then he comes to us and he says, this is kosher meat ready for consumption of people that eat kosher, of Yidden that eat kosher. Then we can trust that person. Oz mutar le'echol. Then me shchita, so we can eat from his shchita. V'samchin al hachazaka. We can rely on this assumption, the chazaka, that we assume that it is true. Aval imhu lefonenu. But if he is in front of us and then he says, "Okay, I am ready. I am qualified to do the shchita on this behema." Tzarich lebadko. So then, tzarich lebadko. We have to test him out. Imhu mumche. If he is an expert really, v'yodea hilchos shechita, and he knows the laws of shechita. Avaleinu tzarich l'sha'alo imnis aleif. But we don't have to ask him imnis aleif. So this is the Torah Zahav, and this is the Sifsei coin. Hagah, that Reb Moshe Ashelei says, "V'yesh omrim she'ein lismoch al hachazaka ela b'deyeved." So the Reb Moshe Ashelei says that we shouldn't rely on this assumption that he knows what he's doing. Ela b'di'evet, if it was done already. Aval lechatchila, but to start out saying that this is the way, we in other words, it should be a second alternative if it was done already, but not the first alternative. Aval lechatchila, but to start out, the first alternative, ein lismoch al hachazaka, we should not rely on the chazaka, on this assumption. B'makom dinolin levararo. B'makom diacholin levararo. In a place where we are able, diacholin levararo, we are able to clarify the matter. If we can clarify the matter, then we shouldn't rely on the chazaka that he can. If somebody comes up and says, "I am qualified," that we should rely on this to eat it. We do not have to. We should not rely on this. If we're able to, so this is only b'di'evet, but lechatchila we should not rely on this until we can clarify the matter that yes, he is qualified to do the kosher shechita. Mordechai v'hahagos Ashrei v'igor v'shem Aleph Zayin v'she'eltos Parshas b'ha'alosecha v'chol zeh mayrei v'acherim she'eno bakiin v'chol zeh mayrei. All of this is talking about v'acherim she'enon bakiim v'yodeim im zeh hashochet baki olo. This is talking about that other people don't know. B'acherim she'enon bakiin, other people that are not experts. V'yodeim im zeh hashochet baki olav aval hashochet atzmo lo yishchot afal pi sheyodeya hilchos shechita umumcha ad sheshochat yimel pa'amim. Im zeh hashochet baki olav aval hashochet atzmo, the shochet himself, the ritual slaughterer himself, lo yishchot, should not do shecht, afal pi sheyodeya hilchos shechita, afal pi sheyodeya hilchos shechita, even if he knows the hilchos of shechita, umumcha, and he's an expert, ad sheshochat gimel pa'amim, until he slaughtered 3 times. If he slaughtered 3 behemoths and he has the experience, then he can be a shochet. If he did it, and it was checked out and everything, so the shochet himself shouldn't rely on himself until he did the 3 shchitos and they were turned out to be kosher. Gimel pa'amim 3 times. Then, even though he might be an expert on the dinim, but in order to actually make the shechita, he has to have done it, and people are watching him, and they see. If he did it 3 times, then we can assume that he is a kosher shochet. B'fnei chacham umumcha ad sheshochat gimel pa'amim b'fnei chacham umumcha. In front of a chacham, a wise person, a mumche, and an expert, b'halachos shechita, the laws of shechita. He did it 3 times in front of a chacham, a wise person. In other words, people that are very bekiyim, they are expert in the hilchos of shechita. Sheyodeya shehu rogil bezoriz. And they know that he is that he has done it a few times. Rogil, he knows what he's doing. Bezoris, he's enthusiastic. Bezoris, he knows what he's doing. Shalai Yasalaf, that it shouldn't, the knife shouldn't slip, or that he knows what he's doing. So he does it 3 times in front of a chacham. So then he's qualified. So then the Shochet himself should know that he's qualified. Tur b'shem harambam. The Tur says this in the name of the Rambam. That's Rav Moshe ben Maimon. That's the Maimonides. V'lachein, therefore, no hagin she'ein adam shochet ela im kein natal kabbalah lefnei chacham. So therefore, no hagin, it's a minhag she'ein adam shochet. So a person should not slaughter, should not shecht ela im kein, unless natal kabbalah lefnei chacham, until he receives a kabbalah receipt, or a certificate from the chacham, that he knows what he's doing, that he's doing it the right way. Al pi halacha, igud by Hilchos Eretz Yisrael, Aleph Yud Kabbalah. Okay, he got it from igud by Hilchos Aleph Yud. Aleph Yud might be Eretz Yisrael. Okay, Ein. Let's see. Let's take a look. The next stop. Take a look at it. So it says here, Ein. Oh, here. Here we are, here. Ein. Ein hachacham nosein lo kabbalah ad sheyodeya bo ein hachacham nosein lo kabbalah. The chacham should not give him a receipt ad sheyodeya bo shehu yodeya hilchos shechita, until he knows about this person, that he knows the halachos, the very complicated halachos of shechita, of the ritual kosher slaughter of a kosher animal. Ubaki biyad. Ubaki, and he knows what he is doing. He knows, Baki means he's an expert. V'lachein noagin shekol haboyin lishchot somkin aleihem lechatchila. So therefore, whoever comes to shecht an animal, somkin aleihem, we rely on them, on their, what they say, lechatchila, v'lo badkinosam, because it's we say that you want to shochet, you shouldn't do this until you did 3 kosher shchitos already in front of a chacham and a baki, somebody that's wise and knows about it, and baki, an expert. So in other words, we say do not do this. So somebody that's presenting himself that he does it. So therefore, noagin shekol haboyin l'shchot, everybody that comes to shecht somchen aleihem, one can rely on him lechatchila, from the first alternative. In other words, not like if he did it already. We said this a few minutes ago. The first alternative, not like the second alternative, that it was done already. Velo badkinon osam lo betechila velo besof. We do not give them a test, not at the beginning nor at the end. They call hamitzaven eitzel shchita kvar natlu kabbalah lefnei chacham. They call hamitzuyin eitzel shchita. Those whoever has to do with shchita. In other words, he's presenting himself as somebody that knows how to shecht, slaughter in the kosher way. Kvar natlu kabbalah lefnei chacham. He already took a kabbalah receipt from the chacham, from the wise person, from the one that knows, the expert. Ubektsas mekomos nogin lahachmer od, and in certain places it's a minhag, it's a custom. La'achmer od, to be more stringent. The hamakabel notel kisav men hachacham l're'iyah. That the one that received the receipt has to have a written receipt from the chacham. L're'iyah shenosan lo kabbalah, that the chacham gave him a kabbalah. Gave him a kabbalah means a receipt that he knows, a certificate that he knows that he is a baki. He has already slaughtered, shechted in a kosher way the animal, and it's fit for kosher consumption. That in other words, that the one doesn't do it until the one receives a receipt. V'chol shochet, and every ritual slaughterer, a shochet, it's afal pi shenatal kabbalah yireh sheyachzor leprakim hilchos shechita, and every shochet, even though he already received the kabbalah, he should see to it sheyachzor leprakim hilchos shechita. He should go over the halachos of shechita. Prakim, the prakim hilchos shechita. He should go over the dinim again, over and over again. Not over and over again, but occasionally, every few months. Sheyiyu shigurim bepiv. The halacha should be in his mouth. In other words, he should know how to recite them. Ubelibo, and in his heart. In other words, he should be very accustomed to them. Shalo yishkachem, he shouldn't forget them, the Hilchos Shechita, because it's a very big responsibility. This is Tosfos. This is Reb Yaakov Halevi b'shem Maharash. V'kemo shahadin b'Hilchos Shechita. V'kemo shahadin, the same thing that the din is b'Hilchos Shechita with the halachos of shechita, uvemi sheba lishchot, somebody that comes to go and say that he's a shochet and he was ready to do the kosher shechita. Kachu hadin behilchos bedikos hareiyah. It's also the same thing in the halachos of bedikos, of checking out the meat that it is kosher and looking. There are certain signs that one should see. Hilchos bedikos hareiyah of a mi sheba livdok, so that somebody that comes to check out. In other words, one is an expert on that it was a kosher shechita. V'dinim u'minhagim, other dinim u'minhagim v'dinim u'minhagim shava b'chol zeh. And it's, in other words, it's also the same dinim by the people that say that that he himself can shecht. Also the people that say that they are qualified to check out whether it's a kosher shechita. That's also the same thing. They should also go and know all of the dinim and return to them periodically. The yesh, the bezdin lachkor, and the bezdin, the court, the court, the bezdin lachkor, velidro should go and check and see and do an investigation achar abodkim, after the people that check it out also, Shochetim, and also the people the people that check, that do the kosher slaughter. And should see that they should be bekiyim, the experts of mumchim. They're experienced mumchim ukesherim, and they're reputable people bekesherim. In other words, we should see his reputation, that he should be a kosher person, very reputable. Mahariv Simon Gimel, it's a source. Ki Godol Isor Ham Michshala Bishchitos Bedikos hamitzorim lakol. V'im botko ki ro ki gadol isur hamachshala. Because in other words, it's a very, very serious thing that one does not want to make a mixture to people. One wants to lead people in the right way and doesn't want to make people do a mistake, God forbid. And to eat something that could, God forbid, not be kosher, chas v'shalom. V'shechitos, v'dikos, ha-musarim lakol. V'dikos, ha-misarim lakol. That's giving, in other words, if one is putting one's stamp of approval on it, one has to be 100% sure, and also the Shochet also. And if we check a certain Shochet, and we find out she'eino yodea im notal pa'am echad kabbalah, she'eino yodea im notal pa'am echad kabbalah, ein matrifin l'mafreya, and we find out that he did not receive the kabbalah, the receipt that he's 100%. Ein matrifin l'mafreya. One does not say that a shechita that he did, let's say, 2 times before is not kosher. Masha Shochet. In other words, let's say he shechted 3 behemos. So on the 3rd behemo, we found out that he's not such a great shochet. We don't, in other words, something happened, whatever, maybe a mistake, whatever. We do not say that, so let's say the 2 ones that he did that were kosher, we don't say, we do not make it treif. We don't make it non-kosher. Masha Shochet, the Amrinan hashta hu the ascha chidushi aguda. Okay, because we say this happened right now. This happened right now, but before he did know exactly what he was doing, and he was qualified. This is a certain thing that happened right now. Aval im lo notal kabbalah me'olam, but if he did not receive a kabbalah receipt from ever, kol ma sheshachat treifa. If we find out that he never received a kabbalah, a receipt, ever, so then everything, and we find out he doesn't have one now, and he never had one, kol ma sheshachat treifa. Everything that he shechted was treifa, is not kosher. Gam kol hakelim shebishlo bohen ma sheshochet tzrichin hechsher. And whatever, all of the kelim that had to do with the shechita has to be made kosher again. They have to be hechshered. Okay, so this is from the Hilchos of Shechita, and this is Ashelei Ravrevai. Ashelei Ravrevai. This Ashelei Ravrevai. Here it is. Ashelei Ravrevai. That's the Torah Zahav, and the Sifsei Kohen on the Shulchan Aruch. So here we go. Thank you very much. Kol Tov. Kol Zayin Gut. From now on, Hashem should help. Kol Tov. Thank you for watching.